2016 had its up and downs for movies this year, but overall it was a good year. With every top 10 list, this is completely my opinion. I didn't get a chance to see every movie that came out this year. And with having only 10 movies to make the list, there are some I wish I could add, but just barely missed out. Some of my honorable mentions include Allied, Nocturnal Animals, 20th Century Women, Zootopia, and The Witch. Now getting into my list. Number 10, Captain America Civil War. The Captain America movies keep getting better and better. They made one of the best Marvel comics into a terrific movie, and it wasn't held down by all the characters. They knew how to use them, but still stay consistent with their motivations in past films. The airport scene, let alone, is one of the best scenes in any blockbuster that came out this year, and one of the best superhero action scenes probably ever. Having Spider-Man in this movie just put it over the top. This movie made me look even more forward to the standalone Spider-Man movie and the Infinity War movie that would be directed by the Russo brothers, because they seem to know these characters well and know how to balance action with comedy, which is a staple for Marvel movies. At number 9, Deadpool. This movie brought something new to the table when it comes to superhero films. Now that we're getting like 4 or 5 superhero movies each year, it is refreshing to see something different when it comes to these films. Deadpool was a hilarious movie that did the character justice by using fourth wall breaks and poking fun at movies in general. It was a movie you got to sit back and have fun with, especially if you were a fan of the character. At number 8, The Jungle Book. Going into it, I was a little worried because I wasn't sure how the CGI would hold up. I was blown away by how real it looked. The animals, the environment, all looked real. The voice talent in it was spectacular, and everybody fit into the characters perfectly, especially Bill Murray, who was a perfect Blue, and Idris Elba, who was a goddamn commanding character. Even the kid was good, who, give him credit, was really acting by himself on a green screen. This movie really improves on the animated movie and shows Jon Favreau can direct any kind of movie. Here's hoping he gets a live-action Lion King in the next couple years. At number 7, Hell or High Water. Now this is what made 2016 movies great, the smaller independent films. The movie does a great job in showing you opposing forces and not really leaning to which side you should root for. In the end, it really makes you think of who is doing the right thing. The small scale and the acting really elevate this film. Jeff Bridges, Ben Foster, and Chris Pine give terrific performances. This movie really feels like you're watching real people, which will be a theme for later films on this list. At number 6, Arrival. One of the best sci-fi movies in years. Denis Villeneuve. Close enough. Keeps making movies that are some of my favorites each year. First it was Enemy, then it was Prisoners, and last year it was Sicario. It takes a different side to what would happen if aliens came to Earth. It's not a disaster movie like Independence Day. It's a much more thought-provoking film, which is something I enjoy more in sci-fi films. Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner give great performances, but the standout has to be the cinematography, which should win the Oscar. Hopefully Villeneuve can keep it up with Blade Runner 2049 coming up next year with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. At number 5, The Nice Guys. Hands down the best comedy this year. This movie is a throwback to the 70s, and of course, since it's Shane Black, it has to take place during Christmas after all. But the writing is perfect, and Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling's chemistry is on point. But this is a great detective movie as well, which is very rare these days. The comedy in this film works so well, because the actors are able to play off each other, and if their chemistry didn't work, then the whole movie would fall apart. Matt Bomer also gives a very underrated performance in this film. But watching this movie, you can definitely tell it is a Shane Black movie because he knows how to do buddy cop better than anyone else. This movie should have gotten an original screenplay nomination, but got snubbed at the Oscars. What a crime. Now we're getting into the big Oscar movies. At number 4, Moonlight. This film is shot beautifully, and the acting in it is tremendous. The 3 people who portray the lead character, Sharon, do a great job, but they all do it in such a different way. It really represents how this person can change over time. The film is fairly similar to Boyhood, where it follows the character as he grows up. But what Moonlight does different is that the main character has to hide himself and put on a facade so that he could fit in. I think Mahershala Ali should get the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his role as a mentor to young Chiron. He is in it a small amount of time, but he leaves a huge impact on the character and the audience. And Barry Jenkins does a terrific job directing the movie and really makes it feel authentic. And I am so happy he got a Best Director nomination. And at number 3, Manchester by the Sea. This film, to me, feels the most real out of any film that came out this year. When I saw it, I felt like I was watching someone's life and listening to their real conversations. Casey Affleck does a perfect job portraying the lead in this movie. To me, this is the best performance out of any movie this year. I'm not gonna lie, this movie got me to cry. Room did it last year, but this year, Manchester by the Sea broke me down in tears. This movie is not entirely rewatchable. That is the only negative I could say about it. But everything else is perfect. Michelle Williams gives a truly heartbreaking performance. The only advice I can give people is when they see this movie, they need to be prepared because this movie is going to be emotionally draining on you. And at number 2, La La Land. If I had to choose a least favorite genre, it would probably be musicals. For some reason, though, I love this movie. Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling worked so well together. The music was great, both the singing pieces and the instrumental ones. The story had a great message that you should never give up on your dreams and desires. The use of color in this film is amazing. The color schemes, from the sets to the clothing to the whole atmosphere of the movie, is tremendous. Damien Chazelle, who previously directed Whiplash, which I loved, really shows off his love for jazz. It even made me appreciate it more. I'm definitely calling him for winning Best Director and this film to win Best Picture at the Oscars. The end of the film is perfect. It wouldn't work in a lot of films. It would feel more like a tacked on ending, but here it makes sense. You understand the characters' choices, and you see how much they care for him, and you care for the characters in the film. This really shows of how good the screenplay was and the directing was. I was going back and forth to which should be my number 1 movie. But after recently watching this film again, I realized it has to be The Neon Demon. The movie no one saw. It is as close to a perfect movie as you can get, in my opinion. It is one of the best movies I've seen this decade. People were kind of turned off by Nicholas Winding Refn because of his previous film, Only God Forgives, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do appreciate it for how aesthetically beautiful it looks. But this film is able to fuse different genres into one film. Horror, comedy, sci-fi, and even coming of age, which is amazing. The acting in this movie is great across the board, including performances by Elle Fanning, Jenna Malone, Abby Lee, and Bella Heathcote. The score by Cliff Martinez is one of the best scores I've heard in a film. It fits the movie so perfectly. This movie is very much the opposite of La La Land. It paints LA as a glossy, manufactured city that will eat a person alive. The use of visual storytelling and color, especially red, adds to the film's overall experience because you really get to see the main character develop into a completely new person all through the way she acts and the environment around her. In the end, this film completely came out of nowhere and has become a film that I can rewatch over and over again, picking up on new things every time I see it. For people who love film, this is a must-watch. I could go on for hours talking about how much I love this film, but it's better if you experience and judge it for yourself. And those were my top 10 films of 2016. Again, with every best of the year list, it is completely subjective, and everyone has their own opinion on what films they enjoy. And this is just mine.